And hello, everyone. Welcome to Controlled Burn, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition game. That's a really long intro. My name is Bolthra, and tonight is the final character introduction. Tonight we're going to meet Otto Miller, and we're going to witness his first change, and probably crack some jokes at his pain and suffering. So that's what we do here on the channel.
It
So
does usually happen, yeah.
that's what usually happens, and then like-minded folks come in and crack jokes as well, and we have a great old time. So
Crash. Where are you?
Crash,
I know.
where are you, Crash? We can't start the show without you. All right, so tonight again, just one player, and we're gonna go ahead and let my friend Aloysius tell us a little about Otto Miller.
Hello, I'm Aloysius. I'm playing Otto. He's a private security guard at a sort of like Pentex subsidiary pharmaceutical company. He likes his job well enough. Most of the time he doesn't have to deal with like the higher up people too much anyway. So that makes things a bit more easy going for him more often than not. Also, I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound horrible or start hacking out a lung, I apologize in advance.
We'll just add that into the character. He's so filled with rage he can't breathe.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with kind of our first scene. I think comic book first panel is Otto is running through a forest, kind of a thick forest with maybe more of a Pacific Northwest kind of forest, very, very old, very filled with redwoods, perhaps. And he's running through this trail, kind of slapping leaves out of his way as he's running. And as he glances over his shoulder, something is chasing him. Something dark and ancient is just at his heels. He's stumbling over things. He's trying to get past a tree that's in his path. He leaps around it, and then he stops and looks up. That there is a kind of like a foothill right in front of the path. Just stops right at the foothill, and as he looks up, there's a figure silhouetted in the sun, and they can't quite make out their features. They stand tall above him, and from behind the figure sweeps down this chill wind, icy cold breeze that sweeps down over Otto, and he feels the cold, but it doesn't chill, make him cold. I'm trying to think of the right words.
It doesn't chill him.
Exactly. And it doesn't scare him. In fact, he feels emboldened by it, that the cold is kind of like seeping into him as he looks up at this figure. And that's when he sits up in his bed, and he's had a horribly weird dream. And he wakes up because his phone is ringing next to him.
Shit. And he'll sort of like reach over and sort of like grab it off his little like nightstand or whatever, and just say hello.
It's 6:12 a.m. It's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't even. I would say he doesn't even look at who it is. He's just like hello.
Yeah. Hey Otto, this is Max.
Oh, hey Max.
And he recognizes Max is one of his supervisors, generally in charge of scheduling, that kind of thing. And he's like, hey, I know it's your day off, but we really need somebody to drive today. And I know you don't generally like driving, but you've heard about all the stuff that's going on with Miss Michaels, right? The VP over at Magadon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's a she's a sales VP, but she's been getting death threats again.
Again?
Yeah, that shit with the. Yeah.
I thought
Well,
PR was supposed to handle that or whatever.
They are, but those those left wing idiots who crying about everybody should have free health care, and medicine should be free to everyone, and and that kind of stuff. I don't gotta lecture you on that stuff, but the higher ups are worried that some idiot's gonna try something. So would you be able to pick her up this morning and just take her over to the office?
Sort of just like stays silent for a second and just like maybe sort of irritatedly sort of like leans his head back and accidentally like hits his head against the like headboard or something, and just says, "Oh, fine."
Oh, thanks, Otto. That we'll make it up to you. We'll get you into a comp day or something like that. We'll make sure. And this might only be like 2 hours or something, but we'll make it up to you, man. I'll shoot you her address. She knows. She said about 7 would be okay to get her. And like Boston traffic's gonna be like, even at 6:30 is probably gonna start to be a nightmare on a Friday. So the fact that you only have 45 minutes now to get there does not help things.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks, Max. Thanks.
No problem, man. And as you were leaning back against the headboard, you felt something on the headboard. And if you reach and look back, you see there's scratches on the headboard. Like deeps look like fingernail scratches on the headboard, and you didn't have that well the night before, or the past weekend, so they weren't there. But there's scratches on your headboard.
I sort of like like I don't know if Max is still talking or whatever, but if he's
still going on.
Honestly, if he's still talking, then I just hang up, and I'll just toss my phone to the side onto the bed or something, and I'll sort of I'll sort of just trail my fingers over the scratches. How deep into the headboard are they?
Not incredibly deep. I mean, if you took a steak knife and scratched in. So, and if you look at your fingernails, you do see tiny bits of dust in your fingernails that kind of match the wood a little bit. But
I sort of start to let my mind wander, being that was a real weird dream, but that, and then it's oh shit, no, I gotta get ready, and he'll just pick up his he'll pick up a pair of pants that are just sitting on the ground or whatever, and just
not
throw
quite dirty,
those
not
on.
quite clean.
Yeah. He's I don't got time to prepare properly. I just gotta grab what I need and go.
Okay. And hey, you get stressed. Traffic isn't quite as bad as he had hoped. She lives in a private gated community outside the city. So he gets to the gate, gives you, bullshit to get in, pulls up to her house about 7:03. Okay. As he pulls up, he sees a woman he recognizes. She is probably late 40s, kind of short red hair. I wouldn't say heavily made up, but probably more than you'd expect for this hour. Looking at ubiquitous phone in her hand with tons of rings on it, and she just kind of glances up at you as you pull up, and then just kind of goes back to her phone. What kind of car does he drive? Town car? Or...
a Ford F-150.
and she gives you kind of a look like. And she kind of comes around the side, and is still looking at her phone. She comes over and kind of looks at you, kind of like, are you gonna open the door? She gives you this look,
and opens up.
Okay.
Opens up the door.
It's like, it's kind of steps up into the truck, closes it. She's like,
"Ma'am,
good morning. Is it Eddie?"
Otto. Okay. Well, thank you. You can drive now. Very well. And he'll start pulling off.
Okay. The office is probably about, at this rate, probably about 20, 25 minutes away. So she assumes you know the way.
Yes.
And
I've been there before.
and then makes a call. And she's like, good morning, Jennifer. Yes, I know it's early. We have things to do today. It's busy. And she just kind of listens. Okay, well, we need to increase the gamma lines. I mean, it's a win-win, right? I mean, lower priced meds for seniors and the working poor. Isn't that what these people are crying about? That they want this stuff, and she just kind of pauses and she's listening. Well, I know they're not as strong a dose, but what do you want for less? She's like, yeah, okay, well, it's already been decided, so this is the part that you do, okay? Yeah, get it going. Okay, and then she kind of glances over at you. It's kind of like, okay, the Delta line? Well, okay, yeah, I just heard about that last night. Ashley is closing a deal with a few of the reservations out west. No, they don't know all the details. She's like, yes, Jennifer. Yeah, of course we tested out there, and the usual warnings about the side effects and all that mess. Yeah, I get it. She's like, is there anything else I can help you with, Jennifer? No? Okay. You have a blessed day. Hangs up. She's like, and she looks like she wants to start making some idle conversation, but kind of glances over to you and kind of gets the feeling Otto probably isn't in the mood for idle conversation.
I mean, he would respond if she started talking to him, partly because it's his job, but yeah, basically as soon as she started talking about like pharmaceutical details and like market value and all that, he's like, that ain't my problem, and just focused on driving.
Well, she knows you probably signed an NDA at some point that said no matter what you hear, you're not allowed to talk about and that kind of thing. So she's just kind of glancing out the window, and so have you been with Megadon long?
A couple years.
Oh, okay. You're usually a driver, or what?
Nope.
What is it you do?
I usually just I'm usually stationed in the building more often than not, and just make sure no one's around who's not supposed to be around. Yeah,
I'll live with you. I'm glad you picked me up today. We're getting killed in the press here. People want insulin, we give them insulin, but we gotta make a profit here. I mean, we're not running a charity, so but but we got some plans to to get some lower price stuff out there, and I think it's really going to help us out in the long run and get us some good press. Oh, hold on a second. Phone rings again. She's like, "Yes, Jennifer. How could have you fucked this up in less than 2 minutes?" All right. And then she kind of reaches into her purse and pulls out a vape and looks over you like, "Is this okay?" And she rolls down the window a little bit, and then she's just listening. And she leans up and puffs out. It's not weed, but it's something that she puffs out. It has this overly fruity berry kind of smell to it. And she's listening, and she's like, "Jennifer, I will be there in 15 minutes, okay? Try not to let anything else burn down in the meantime, okay? Thank you." Click. And you get to a stoplight, and she's taken another hit from the vape. Could you roll for me? And this is where I want to kind of just explain how to make the rolls in here.
Okey-doke.
You're going to roll me a wits and alertness. Now, what you can do is you can click on alertness under your talents.
Okay, alertness.
And then what it's going to do is it's going to show you your attributes at the top.
Yep.
And then you click wits. It's going to be difficulty. We'll go with difficulty 5. You can just lower the difficulty down to 5.
All right.
And then you just click roll.
All right.
Oh, nice. 4 successes.
Is 4 successes.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to the chat messages tab, that'll actually show you all your results if you ever need to keep track of them. So.
Gotcha.
Okay. Because it was taking me a little while to get used to that the ones take away successes. I'd forgotten about that, so I'm kind of glad I'm using this now. Okay, yeah. So 4 successes. When you just kind of take a glance over and she's looking around, you see not only are her eyes really bloodshot after she's been vaping, but there's also this weird tinge of like green in around the red, and her eyes, not reptilian, no reptile people in this one.
I wasn't gonna say.
I knew you were waiting for the reptile people.
I was not gonna say anything about it.
I thought about it. I thought, just make everything linked. But yeah, it's just kind of this weird green and red and maybe a little bit of yellow. It's just almost like jaundice. It's just this weird kind of look in her eyes. And at the traffic, the light changes and you have to keep going. She opens up, she kind of leans on the window and hacks up like a lung. Just like, and she's like, I probably got to give that stuff up. But it's so good.
You all right, ma'am?
Yeah. It's just early allergies and, sorry about that. And then she just kind of leans back in her chair, and she's actually relatively quiet for the remainder of the trip. You do pull up to the Magadon office, and you find outside the gates that there is a ring of protesters out there. They are marching back and forth. They've got signs that say Magadon sells death. Magadon is reaping profits from the poor. People kind of stomping back and forth.
Wonderful. As we're sort of like pulling up, I'd sort of turn to her and say, "I'd suggest getting down if I were you."
She's like, "Okay." And there is a security gate that you could go through, but the protesters are just blocking the entrance, and she kind of ducks down. She's like, "I really need to get in the office. I mean, if you have to run one of these fuckers over, do whatever you gotta do."
With all due respect, ma'am, I think running over the protesters will only look worse for you in the long run.
Okay. You and she doesn't say anything. She just kind of gets down, and you probably starting to tap on her phone.
I'd say,
You go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd tell her to stay put,
Mhm.
and I will get out of the car.
Okay.
And about like how many protesters are
It's
there?
probably about 12
Okay.
of all different ages, sizes,
Okay.
and they're starting to chant. They're like, Magadon sells death. Magadon sells death.
And who sort of like looks to be like maybe like the ringleader or so?
There is actually a small woman. She's holding up a big sign. She has a rose tattoo on her right hand, and several nose ring. Kind of long black hair. Could be Filipino. She's maybe Asian look to her. It doesn't really matter for what we're doing. But she's about the smallest person there, but she seems about the angriest.
Okay. The most
She's
passionate.
exactly. She's just chanting that, and she's standing right in front of the hood, and she doesn't touch the car. She looks like she wants to slam her hands on the car, or excuse me, the truck, but she hasn't.
Yes. So I'll step out of the vehicle and sort of like walk around over to her and say, "Ma'am, I need all of you to move aside so I can enter the premises."
Why? What do you need to go in there for? So you can keep creating that cheap shit medicine for us?
Ma'am, I just work here. I just work security, so I need you to move aside.
And somebody shouts, "Look, it's that bitch, Michaels. She's in there." And now the 12 are starting to converge on the truck.
I sort of like look over to the one who sort of like said that, and
Hey, Limey.
Hello, Limey. I was thinking about you during the intro sequence since we're head bopping buddies. So I look over to the one who yelled that, and I'll sort of just say, "I need all of you to leave now and move aside. Disperse."
One of the we're going to say that you're in front of your truck, so we're going to say to your right, on the right passenger side of the truck, someone from the crowd comes up with a bucket, and they throw it at the truck, and it looks like it's filled with a substance that's supposed to look like blood, and throws all this all over the truck. And then the crowd starts rushing to the truck. And then you feel yourself get hit with this splash of blood.
Okay.
You're starting to be a little pissed.
Yep, just a tad irritated. And I will sort of like march over to the one who who had the bucket, and I will like whoever they are. I will.
We're gonna say a middle-aged man with a gray ponytail.
Okay. I will grab him by like the collar of his shirt and like pull him close to me and just say, "All of you leave now."
Fascist.
Can I make an intimidation check?
You certainly can.
Okay. I definitely want him to think I'm going to beat him savagely, but I want to avoid doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
And that's going to be just difficulty 5 because you're much bigger than this guy.
Okay. Yep. And
so intimidation and
strength, or I'm assuming. Since I'm being physical with him.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Roll.
Oh boy. Oh my god.
Seven
Seven.
successes.
Yes. He is just about pissing his pants. And he's just kind of falls limp in your grasp. And he's like, but man, they're murderers. You're working for murderers.
And as he's sort of like going limp in my arms from fear or whatever, I just sort of like let go of his shirt and let him like drop to the ground and just say,
Okay.
I'm just doing my job. And I walk back to the car and I expect all of them to disperse.
Most of them have seen what you've done to this guy. And when you go to open the truck door, that's when Matthews is like, aren't you gonna do something about them? I mean, get them away from me, that they could hurt me.
And I get back in the truck and activate the windshield wipers.
Okay.
And just say they're leaving, and I will start pulling up towards the gate.
Okay, you go up to the gate. The people start to part, and then the security is able to open up the gate. You do notice though, like as you're getting to, you've just kind of pulled up, that the lead protester has now jumped in the bed of your truck, and now she's like pounding on the back glass, and she's like, "Come on out, Matthews! Come on out! You can't hide from us forever."
Oh,
or Matthews, excuse me, Michaels.
And same difference.
I know. And Michaels is going, God damn it, shoot her.
That's
when you start to see red.
Is there like a security officer like
there is, okay. And this is all kind of like as you were pulling up, she jumped in, you're pulling up, you're getting to the gate is coming up, and Michael's just like, God damn it, shoot her, she is a threat.
Okay. He will once again step out of the truck and sort of like gesture to the guy who's in the office to like come and assist me.
Okay.
And together we're just going to like grab this lady and we're just gonna like throw her out back to the crowd.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, you just kind of take her and just going to throw her like she's stage diving.
Yeah. But we're just like, lady, you're making this more of an issue than you should, and we're just gonna like grab her. Like I grab one arm, he grabs another arm, and then we just like toss her.
That's awesome. All right. She hits the crowd. They all kind of get knocked over like bowling pins. And that's when you could get back in your truck and start moving now if you'd like.
All right. Yep. I hop back in and I sort of like give a wave to the other security guard who helped me out, and I just pull in.
And as you start to pull forward, I want to have you make a wits and alertness roll, but this one's going to be at a 7.
At a 7, okay.
Yeah.
Alertness, wits, 7. Roll. 2 successes.
Okay. As you're looking up in the rearview mirror, it looks like some of the people quickly, not quite how they did it, kind of scrambled forward and are kind of, and the security gate is really just this one bar that comes down. It's not like a wall gate or anything.
Okay.
So it's just.
Wow. I would expect this place to have better security, but okay.
You would think so too, but I mean, there's profit margins to look at. And,
cheap shills. All right.
Exactly. You think you saw maybe 1 or 2 people scramble under the gate as the security guard is trying to get everything closed up.
I'm going to sigh deeply.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like unholster my pistol that's strapped to my leg, and
Okay.
I'm going to just sort of like stick my hand out, and I'm just gonna shoot it up into the air.
Okay.
Just try and scare them away.
Okay. You you do that, and what you see them kind of scramble and go two different directions, but still past the gate. There's now on Magadon property, and once you fire that shot, Michael's just kind of just looks at me and just grins, and she's got that look in her eyes again with the weird green and yellow and red, and she's like, excellent. That's what we need more of, is a show of force to show these idiots that we mean business. They can't fuck around on our property. You'll do well here, Otto. You're already starting to learn your place.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
I say with a bit of a question mark at the end there.
Yeah.
And I sort of just like keep driving forward, because I gotta get her. I gotta get her into the building, and he can call for backup too.
Yeah, there would be like a designated spot to drop her off.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And and she, when you pull up, she kind of opens the door a little bit, and there's still the fake blood and all the stuff, and she kind of just steps out like, ooh, and she's like, take care of yourself, Otto. I'll be seeing you around.
I'll do my best, ma'am.
She closes the door and kind of does her quick little walk up to the doorway. And this has been about a minute since you took the warning shot and got her up there. Now you see all the security cars are starting to drive around, circling the lot. And they kind of corner your truck.
Okay.
And these would be different security guards than you work with. These are the mall rent-a-cop kind. You are an elite security detail. So it's not like you know them from the company picnic. They don't know you. So,
yeah. Okay.
And they get out, and they've got tasers, and they surround the truck. They're like, who fired? Somebody reported a shot coming from this vehicle.
That was
me. About 5 or 6 of them are coming up. Okay. Can we see some ID?
I'll sort of like pull out my wallet, sort of hand them my. I'm assuming they want my security ID, so I will hand that to them.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Thank you, Officer Miller. We just heard a shot, and just with all those weirdos,
I understand. I understand. You're just doing your job.
Yeah. So, sorry. We'll take care of the paperwork. Nobody called 911 or anything like that. So, please, with our apologies, please, please go on.
Thanks. And I am going to, I guess I'll like head into the building. Because A, I gotta fucking clean up my car now. And B, as much as he feels bad about it, he has a buddy who works in the building, named Mike, who gets him some pills for when he's feeling stressed out.
He's feeling mighty stressed out now.
And so he's gonna go find Mike and see if he can hook him up.
Yeah. Mike is generally in pretty early, so and he's at his desk. He looks high, sitting at his desk. He's like, hey Otto, man, what's going on?
Oh, well, we're supposed to have the day off. Clearly do not have the day
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Can you hook a brother up?
Yeah, man. What do you need, man? And he's an
Something.
IT or something, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's like corporate security IT or something.
Yes. Someone
Yeah, what do
who's
you need, man?
someone who's not gonna get in a lot of trouble
He's
for
like he's
just
like, hey,
being high a lot.
just meet me in my office, man.
All
AKA the
right.
men's room. So
Yeah, sounds good.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and I'll sort of like I'll just like pat him on the back, and I'll sort of like do the thing where I sort of just like wander around for like
Hmm.
5 minutes
Yeah.
before making
Yeah.
my way into the men's room.
Yeah. You get in there and he has like a just like a small I don't know, man purse looking kind of thing in there, and he's like, so what do you need, man? So,
Just feeling it's very early in the day to be feeling this stressed out. So
yeah,
if you got something
yeah.
that can help me out with that, I'd
Okay.
appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah, man. And he's got the Magadon version of Xanax.
Okay.
And he gives you a couple, and then when you get it in your hand, normally they're kind of greenish pills. They look bloody in your hand, and it just looks like they're covered in blood.
What's this?
And he looks in your hand. He's like, Xannies, man. What?
They look different than normal.
He's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with those, man. And to you, they look bloody. And you move them in your hand, it leaves like this slimy blood trail on your hand.
I'll sort of like pick one up and I'll like sniff it.
It just smells like death. It just smells like the worst substance that, I mean, you've been out in the woods hunting and had to use the bathroom. That smelled better than this.
I think his hand will sort of like shake for a second before he
Yeah.
just like sort of like grips his arm with his other hand to like stop it. And
Mike's like, what's wrong, man?
and I'll just like hand him back to Mike and say, I think I'm okay.
All right, man. No problem, man.
You have anything else?
He's like, well, they got smoke alarms in here and everything. Like, man, I can't give you anything to smoke, man. He's like, I got, well, the less corporate stuff if you're looking, but I don't think you're the kind of snorting stuff, are you, man? I don't know. You always seem kind of straight laced to me.
Look, it's a day. I'm open to new experiences.
He's like, all right. He's like kind of rooting around in his thing, brings out this little packet, brown, this little tiny dime bag, brown stuff, and hands it to, and when he gets into your hand, the contents of the packet are squirming, like there's worms in there. It's just like squirming all around.
Okay, and so it's like a powder, but it like looks like it's moving by itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he kind of quickly took it out of the bag and like put it in your hand, and then as soon as you look at your hand, the contents are like squirming all around. And
okay, I'll sort of like take it, and he'll like dump a little out on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of like line it up or whatever.
And the line starts breaking up because it's crawling. Like you kind of nudge it to keep it in a line. It just keeps. And Mike's not really paying attention. He's just kind of stepped back and.
I'll sort of like, grab. I'll sort of like gently grab Mike's shoulder. And
you'll find out, whispers.
I'll sort of like gently grab Mike's shoulder like pull him closer to me, and then like gently grab the back of his head and sort of just like move his head to like
Okay.
next to mine to sort of
Uh-huh.
like look at the line of whatever this is,
Yeah.
and
He's
just
like,
and just say, "What is this?"
it's, it's heroin, man. Just hit it.
Is heroin supposed to move around by itself?
Dude, that shit ain't moving, man. I don't, man.
What are you taught? It's moving right
He's like,
now.
He's like, man, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean,
There's
oh,
nothing
man.
wrong with it moving by itself.
Dude, he's like, dude, I'm already high as fuck, but that shit ain't moving, man. There's nothing wrong with it. He's like, watch. He goes down and he snorts it up and he comes back. He's like, oh. And when he comes back up and he kind of closes his eyes and he looks at you, he's got almost those same bloodshot green and red eyes that Michael's had. And he's just like, oh. He's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mike, I think you need to go sit back down.
All right, dude, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, man. He's like, you just finish it or whatever you want, but I gotta go back to work, man. And he leaves you in the bathroom.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of like look back in the bag, and I'm assuming it's like still moving around and stuff.
Yeah. It's still squirming around.
I'm going. Well, I guess I'm just going to. Because at this point,
You're really on edge now.
I'm freaking out a bit, because I think I'm losing my mind. And so I'm just gonna like walk over to one of the stalls and sort of just like dump it into the toilet and just flush it.
And when you flush it in, you see it all squirming all over the place.
And I'll just like toss out the bag, and I'll sort of just like sort of press my hands on the counter and just like stare into the mirror and sort of just like compose myself.
As you're trying to compose yourself, you start to feel your shoulders like pop, like something shifts in your muscles, almost like a spasm at first. And you glance up in the mirror, and your eyes have changed. Your eyes are now yellow. And he typically probably shaves every morning. He probably had kind of a. Does he normally have a beard, or is he?
I'd say he normally has a beard, yeah, but since this is like a more like professional setting, he tries to sort of like keep it cleaned up, mostly.
It's getting longer, and he just feels like these spasms going through him, and he can still smell the drugs, even though like it's still like in his nostrils. He can smell it, and it's just death, and it just enrages him. He's just like, I can't believe I almost put that shit into me.
Yeah, I'd say I also sort of I just like, since it feels like the scent is sort of like stuck in my nose, I just like keep sort of just like messing with my nostrils and sort of like scratching it and stuff, because
until
like
your nose gets a little bigger.
Yeah, because I just like can't get the smell out.
Yeah. And he just has this premonition that something bad is about to happen. You know, when you have that feeling, like you gotta puke, and you're like,
yeah.
Okay, I gotta. This is gonna happen. There's no stopping it. Something bad is about to happen to him. Whether or not he chooses to stay here in the Magadon bathroom or chooses to go somewhere else, that is entirely up to you.
I think
there is a train a coming.
I think at this point he's going to try and make his way back to his truck from where he is now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he's kind of winding through the office, trying to avoid people. People are coming in to work. Most of them are still pretty sleepy. Some of them look about as high as Mike. So for the most part, he kind of slips past everybody. And yeah, and gets out to his truck. And does he get in?
I think he's sort of like he feels almost exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's sort of just leaning against the truck at the moment.
Okay.
Just like trying to deal.
And that's when he
before
feels
he does
this.
Anything else.
That's when he feels this huge cold breeze blow over him, and it's. I think I forgot to give you the date, but I believe this is set in July. So a swift cold breeze blowing through Boston at this time of day is pretty unusual. But he reminds him of his dream. That he feels this breeze go over him, and he's just like, I'm mad, but I'm not afraid. That like this is it's gonna be all right, almost.
Okay. I sort of just like take sort of like deep breaths.
Yeah. And he's still hairy. He's still bigger than he was. And if he looks himself in the rearview mirror, he's still. And then when he is looking in the rearview mirror, he catches somebody looking at him. Just in a quick reflection, he sees somebody standing back there somewhere.
I sort of like reflexively spin around.
Okay.
And look in the direction they were.
And you see it is the head protester. Somehow she got onto the property. Somehow she got past all the guards. And she's looking at you.
And I'll just say, you need to leave now.
She's like, and she just kind of takes a step towards you, and she's like, it's all right. Something's happening to you, isn't it?
He'll sort of like hesitate for a second. Like almost like he's about to like fumble over his words, but then he says, that's none of your concern. You need to leave now. You're on private property.
These aren't your people. This is just a paycheck. This is just a bump in the road. Just a point in your life. This isn't what you were meant for. And she doesn't come much closer, and she's like, look at your ears, your hands. Has that ever happened to you before?
Sort of like he's he'll like hesitate to sort of like look away from her and to like look at his hands. But then he'll like sort of like very, very quickly sort of like glance down at his hands and then sort of like look back at her and just say, no.
I think you're part of a bigger family that you really don't know about. And I think you would be better served by getting away from this place and maybe exploring what you think you're really meant for. Is any of this bring you joy, bring you peace? Sorry, the hairy palm squad. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're very mature at this channel. You're a Marine. You're not used to people talking about peace and joy.
Yeah.
You know.
And also he's like, yeah, he's still kind of stuck on work brain, regardless of how weird the circumstances, because this is an intruder on private property. So, who's just like trying to basically convert him to something that he doesn't know what the hell it is. And so he sort of like reflexively sort of reaches for his walkie-talkie that's like right here, his radio or whatever.
And she's like, this is a big moment in your life, and you gotta do what you think is right, but you can't deny what you're feeling right now. And you're starting to get a little more tense. Bitch is pissing you off because she's right.
Yeah. Yes, she is. She is pissing me off.
And that's when you start to feel yourself growing a little more.
Okay. And sort of like as I'm like doing that, I'll sort of like try and manage like to speak into the microphone or into the radio and just be like, back up at my location now, please.
And all it comes out is, and you get, wait, come again, over. Well, actually, that's what kind of started this whole thing.
It was trying.
It was
not
trying,
succeeding though.
And the response comes back again. It's like, Miller, are you there? And the woman is looking at you. She's like, they got cameras here, and they're gonna see exactly what you've become.
I feel at this point I sort of like whatever state I'm in. I sort of just like reflexively like lunge myself at her.
Hulk smash, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just reflexively like lunge at her in fury and just like try to take a massive swipe at her and like slam her into the ground or something.
Okay. What you're gonna do on your character sheet is you have a tab that says shape change.
Okay.
If you click on that, and then you see you have a column for Krenos.
Yep.
If you click, then when you make your rolls, it's going to add those additional stats into your rolls.
Okay.
So now is probably going to be a strength and brawl, or maybe dex and brawl. I'll let you kind of pick.
Okay. I will go strength.
Okay.
Yeah, I will go strength.
Okay.
Okay, what is the difficulty?
It's gonna be pretty easy, but you can probably keep it as like a 5.
Okay, 5. Roll.
Okay, you pounce on her. And you now see that your hands are giant claws, and you get to her and you grab her. And your hands, one hand grabs one shoulder, one grabs another, and you go. And
I just like rip her in half.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have now just ripped her in half. And the one half you throw at her face is just looking at you like, and you throw it down.
Yeah. Like the part with her head on it. I kind of just like drop it to the ground, and then I sort of like take my free hand and then sort of just like smash her skull into the ground.
Okay. And that's when you let out a giant howl. And then, as you're just standing there, just covered in blood and rage, you hear it sounds like alarms going off. And as you're swinging around your animalistic brain, from the building, you see these guards start to come running out, and these aren't quite the rent-a-cops you've run into before. These guys are in like riot gear. Like 2 or 3 of them come running out, and they're running towards you.
Okay. I'm assuming with malicious intent.
Indeed.
Okay, then I charge right back at him.
Okay. All right. So it's not gonna be real formal combat at this point. I'm gonna let you go first. They at least 2 of them have handguns. I was going to say Glocks, and then a third one has probably just a small submachine gun. But they're kind of like arrayed, the 3 in front of you. But you're going to get to go first, so you basically have your choice.
Okay, I'll just go for the nearest one and then sort of just like backswing them and like try to like fling them into a pillar or something.
Okay. Formal combat.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just do strength and brawl, please.
Okie doke.
And you do have a specialty in your strength.
do.
So
I just don't think it applies to this.
What is it again?
A steely grip.
No, for this, not for what you're doing.
I didn't think so.
No. Okay. I just wanted to check though. Okay.
Yes, I used it earlier on the when I was intimidating the shit out of the one dude.
Okay.
But
and you saw where you check that box.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Great. Okay.
Okay. What's the difficulty here?
This is gonna be just 6.
Okay. Strength brawl roll.
Oh God. Okay.
7 6s.
Describe for me what you do to the first guy, and then how you batter the second guy with what remains.
I'd say I sort of just like backhand this one dude into like a nearby wall or something, and so he sort of just like flattens against it, like I hit his riot shield or whatever, and like the concussive force from that sort of just like presses him into the wall, and then I'll like quickly grab his leg and then sort of like swing him at another dude.
Okay. The third guy though is now going to take a shot at you. And he gets 2 successes. Now I got to read up again on combat. I believe you were able to soak damage.
Okay.
And I think you actually have a button on your character sheet as like a shield. It says roll for soak.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm assuming this is bashing damage.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Difficulty of...
We'll just keep it 6 for right now.
Okay, gotcha.
I gotta look up all the specifics for tonight. Just 6 is fine.
Roll!
Okay, perfect.
4 successes.
So the bullets hit you, but you soaked that damage. So he's fired at you, but you're this raging machine. And you can now act again.
Okay. Does this guy also have a riot shield?
No. He's just in body armor, but just has a submachine gun. So.
Okay. I'm going to sort of just like grab this guy. I'm gonna sort of like sink my claws through his body armor, and then just start like slamming him into the ground.
Okay. Strength and brawl, please.
Cool.
All while you're doing this, the alarms are still going off.
Naturally. Difficulty 6, I'm assuming?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
0 successes. Holy shit.
Successes. But it's not a
wow.
botch. It is not but yeah. So
that's a whack with the amount of dice that I rolled.
Yeah, that is insane. Because you had 11 dice.
Yeah.
we're gonna say your claws kind of ripped part of his kind of ripped through his shirt.
Okay.
But he kind of scrambles out of the way, and as you're looking at him, you now your senses are so alive now. You hear and can smell more coming, like a lot more coming. And despite your rage, you feel that wind come over you again. And it's almost like the wind is almost like common sense to you. That's like, running might be a good idea.
Okay.
But you're a warrior.
Yeah.
So
okay. I will
Yes.
try to kill this man
Okay.
one more time.
Definitely.
And
11 dice and 0 successes is amazing.
I'll try to kill this man one more time, and regardless of how successful it is, then I will make a tactical retreat.
Okay. Yeah, he is. He's gonna actually try to get another shot at you, but you're moving faster than he is. So I'm just gonna let you try again with your 11 dice.
Yeah. Let's go. 2 successes that time.
2 successes. Okay. Yeah, you
Wow. Apparently,
yeah.
I've been doing so good that it needs to
Exactly.
punish me now.
Exactly. Yeah, because you got 2 ones in there. So, yeah, you probably slash at his chest enough that you've kind of torn the armor open, and he's kind of stemmed by, and his gun looks like it's starting to like jam or something. So.
Yeah. So, so I just like take that claw swipe at him.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of see that he's still holding on, and just be like, "Fuck it, I gotta get out of here."
Okay.
The wind is telling me to do it, so I'm doing it, I guess, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna start making a break for it.
Okay. Yeah, you can get across the parking lot quickly, and get to the gate where you came in.
Okay. I'm assuming this whole building has like a massive like fence or something around it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What is outside the fences that are not leading to the gate?
Kind of what's on the other side of the.
Yeah. What's outside the fence?
In Monty Python terms, a shrubbery. So,
Okay.
but you would get out and you'd get out to the street.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
unfortunately, there's no wilderness or anything. You're in.
Yeah. Okay.
You're in the
Okay.
metropolitan areas.
Yeah. Well, I'd still like to try and head somewhere where there isn't like mass quantities of people.
Okay.
So,
difficult, but okay.
Yes. I'll go for lesser quantities of people over greater quantities of people if possible.
Okay.
So,
Right.
I guess I will try and do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna necessarily make you roll this one. I think you're gonna. It's almost like instincts come over you that you just don't even understand. It's you spring and get to the gate and just kind of pull yourself over the fence and just kind of leap over. And that's when you really kind of get a good look at yourself. And you're like, you're gigantic. I mean, give us an idea of what he looks like in his Kranos form, like his fur and that kind of thing.
In his Krenos form, he stands about like a foot and a half taller than he normally is. Normally he's 6'3", so like add another foot and a half on top of that. And as far as like his fur, he when it's not covered in blood like it is right now, it's like sort of like very like earthy tones, like various shades of brown, it's like varying from like a sandy brown to sort of like a deep muddy color, with a few like splotches of white here and there.
Okay. He gets down. There's traffic is starting to pick up. Anybody though who looks over, just their mind, cars start crashing into there's just like starting to be like accidents because people their brains cannot process what they're seeing. That some giant figure has jumped down, and cars are starting to smash. You still hear the sirens, the alarms from the facility, and that's when a kind of a white, say a white Mazda pulls up, and a guy leans out, pulls up, and is able to look at you, and you recognize it's Max. And he's like,
okay.
And he's like,
oh,
that is awesome.
That's so good.
Might have to be canon.
That's so good.
And it's Max. And
I say whispers will never let me live that down.
Oh, I know, never.
Sure.
Never. And he's kind of looking at me, but he's not afraid. He's looking at you. He's like, "Who are you?" And
I sort of like look at him, but I'm still in sort of like a fight or flight sort of state, and so like even though I register that it's Max, I'm still sort of like snarling at him a little bit,
and that's when you feel your stuff actually starting to chill out because you're seeing a familiar face. You're able to like focus. Although this guy pissed you off this morning, you're able to focus, and you feel your stuff starting to chill out a little bit, and you feel your muscles and everything starting to relax. And within about a minute, because your first time, you've kind of shrunk back down, and you're now huddled up on the sidewalk. And Max has gotten out of his car, has walked over to you. There's still all this shit going on, all this car accidents, and just general chaos. And you find you're now naked. Well, we're not going to say naked. Everyone's managed to have some pants on, just like the Hulk. And
Diana did not. She did not manage somehow.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. Well, if you want to be naked, you can. It's up to you. But Max,
it happens.
But Max, he's like, Otto? He's like, oh my God, what? I had no idea you. Oh, holy shit! You're one of them.
What the fuck is going on, Max?
You got it. You get in the car. Come on, get in the car. We got to get you out of here, man.
I sort of like. I like somewhat struggle to stand up because I just feel physically exhausted.
You do, yeah. You're absolutely right. He kind of just takes your elbow, kind of helps you up, and people are getting out of cars and looking around, and you hear somebody yelling, "I don't know. I think that naked homeless guy did something. I don't know, man." People stopped, and all people started crashing and stuff, and yeah, exactly, Teen Wolf. He helps you over to his car, and he's like, okay, pulls up, and he does like a quick U-turn to get away from the Magadan exit entrance, and starts roaring away. And he's like, holy shit, man, I knew something was different about you, but do you know anybody in your family who did this, man? Is like you, man?
Is like a fucking werewolf or whatever? No. I'm sorry. That was a neglected topic, I gotta say.
Oh man, he's like, I'm what they call family to and I mean, they they got me the job at the bits hair after work.
Oh.
he's like they got me the job here, man, so I could keep an eye on all this worm shit going on here, man. You know, I mean, I serve my tribe, man, but
What are you talking about?
He's like, man, I'm family. I'm not directly family to you, but because I don't know what tribe you are, man. But it's you're a werewolf, man, and they're
werewolves aren't supposed to be real. They're supposed to be fucking shitty, like, romance, like, idols that my teenage daughter watches on TV or whatever.
Well, dude, you're one of them. So, man, maybe you can go out and find some sparkly vampires to kill or something, man. I'm telling you, man. What do you think happened here? You think you just a bad acid trip or something?
Yeah, I kind of did think that, even though I hadn't done anything today.
Yeah, I mean, you know that shit that Magadon sells is poison, man, and that's one of the reasons I'm there, man. Is to keep an eye on, report back to my tribe about what's going on, so that they can keep an eye on this shit, man. But we gotta get you out of here, man. You can't stay, because they're gonna know it was you, man. They're gonna see you go in the building, they're gonna see you come out, they're gonna see some giant freaking werewolf fighting in the parking lot, probably. I mean, I'm assuming you fought somebody. You're covered in freaking blood, and I don't. Is that yours?
No.
Oh,
no,
shit,
it's not.
Man. We got. All right, I know some people, man. We gotta get you. You can't stay here anymore, man. So, get you to your house. You can pack some bags, and then I'll get you to some people who can move you, man. But sorry, dude. I guess welcome to the family.
No, haha. No, haha. What the fuck is that, Max? What the fuck is that shit?
And that's where we close out the scene with a rather upset Otto Miller, not liking the joke, and we close out the scene. So. Okay. So, so we have met Otto, and he will be moving. We'll just say west for right now. He is going to meet up with some folk who will help him evaluate his new situation, and help him relocate elsewhere. So, what'd you think? How do you like it so far?
Oh, that was fun. I had a blast.
Good. We'll let people try to figure out what auspice Otto is.
I feel like it's probably not that hard to figure out.
I was going to say that auspice probably isn't too hard to figure out. We're not going to reveal tribes just yet. I'm going to have that conversation with my players and see what they want to do with that. We'll kind of take it from there. So, but thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Next Thursday will be the first episode where, oh yeah, here we go. Forget cocaine. Now, can you imagine if he had snorted that stuff? How bad? How bad his reaction would have been.
I was tempted to, just to like see how visceral it would be, but I'm like, no, he probably wouldn't. I'm like, it's fucking squirming around and shit. He wouldn't put that up his nose. It's
now he's seeing it with his true vision. He's seeing all these drugs, what they really look like. So, if he had done it, he would have done it, and you something bad would have happened. But poor Mike might not be with us. But next Thursday night will be the first episode with all of the characters. They're all going to meet each other, and they begin their happy journey to Oz together. So I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Please give us a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I want to see if my friend Aloysius has anything you want to plug tonight, or you can plug it tomorrow night on another game. It's up to you, my friend.
I don't think I have anything at the moment.
Okay.
I will say Happy Pride, though, everybody.
Yes. Yep. Happy Pride, everyone.
That's officially started today.
Yes, it has. Happy Pride, everyone. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and wrap up, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.